Now, here are your hosts, Tiffany and Carrie.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Tiffany.
And Carrie.
And welcome to another joyride on this hot summer day. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
You know, we're good. We're kind of relaxing into the whole summer groove.
Well, yeah, I did because you had my kids last night.
I know. We had a whole bunch of kids come over and pool time and movie time. And so it's good. It's a good vibe, good energy. Your kids are great.
It is good energy. Thank you. Most days.
We have a very exciting show today, and we have a fellow metaphysical mama here on Skype with us, tuning in from Portland, Oregon. This is Miss Allison Coe. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me today.
So exciting. It's so exciting to get to see your face, even though we're on Skype. So
it's pretty cool because we synchronistically found you separately and kind of said, you have to see this really cool chick and what she's up to. And it kind of came together. And we said, I just sent it to you and you just sent it to me. So it was meant to be. So
it really was. It really was. I know that halfway through, and it's not very long, I think that particular YouTube is maybe 10, I think, 12. And
I think, yeah.
Halfway through, I had to text you. You put your phone number out there, and I shot you a text and said, yes, I understand everything you're saying. And so I can't wait to talk all about this, all about your ride and who you are.
Yes.
So
my joyride.
Yes, you're a joyride. So we want to hear about your joyride and everything that you're doing with your Qhht. And for those of you that are not familiar, that's quantum healing hypnosis technique. Dolores Cannon, if you've ever studied any of the, plethora of information that Dolores Cannon put out while she was here, it is absolutely mind-blowing. And she has taught so many amazing practitioners how to continue her I'm getting distracted by Facebook.
Sorry about that.
How to continue this technique. And we want to hear all about your journey, how you got that, what Qhht is. And what's really cool to me also is the information that is coming through from your clients when they're under hypnosis and what their higher selves are telling them and all of us. I mean, it's just awesome.
That's right. That's what makes the job so interesting. You know, it's rewarding on its own levels because it's connecting people to their higher self and getting them lots of personal information that basically heals their life. The higher self is giving each individual a prescription basically for how to change their life. And it's up to them whether they take the prescription or not. But on the flip side, to be a witness to this incredible information is like having the best seat in the house. I swear to God, I got to watch the best movies every single day. Through Hollywood, man.
I love it.
Exactly.
So let's back up. So you used to be, and you're a mom, you have a daughter, and used to be an accountant, I hear, and you kind of, what got you to this point where you ditched all of that and said, I'm going to get into talking to the higher self through hypnosis?
Well, it was a mutual agreement, let's just say, between my company that I worked for 12 years and myself. I basically was only able to stay an accountant for that long because I was listening to metaphysical studies. I would have been listening to the show while I was doing my spreadsheets, you know, and following the rabbit down the metaphysical hole while I'm being an accountant. But you know, through a synchronistic set of events, I was guided to Dolores Cannon. Basically, I was given some information about there being two Earths splitting apart, and it was a knowing. It didn't come from an outside source, and I started playing around with the information, and then slowly I was guided to Dolores Cannon, and I ignored her for about 3 months because I didn't know who she was. I didn't know her message. I didn't know what she did. And I just saw her cute little old lady face. And I was like, no, I don't want to listen to that while I'm working. No, whatever she has to say, no, I need something upbeat. I need something, you know, powerful. Little did I know. Little did I know that's what she had. Anyway, so I finally listened to her and she was giving a speech about the exact same information that I was downloading, which was there are two Earths splitting apart, and all of the different factors on each Earth. The old Earth had competition and patriarchy and money and greed, and all this stuff. And the new Earth had unconditional love, cooperation, a perfect balance between the masculine and the feminine. And so I had written all this stuff down, and so here I was, I finally listened to her, and she's talking about the exact same thing within 5 minutes. And I just started following that. I said, okay, obviously I'm supposed to follow this. And then luckily I was laid off because it had become unbearable to be an accountant, because I knew who I was. I was a metaphysical, spiritual healer of some sort. I didn't know what that looked like, but I knew what I was doing. I worked with 60 women, and invariably each day one of them would come into my office, shut the door, and we would talk about the stuff that I had just learned. The stuff that I had just learned was something that could help them that day. So it was an instant integration of this knowledge. Wow. And so it just seemed to work naturally for me to go down this rabbit hole. So as soon as I was laid off, I took the training in Arkansas, and bam, here I am.
Yes. It is. I've seen that picture. It's almost like two worlds that do this and sort of pull apart. Is that what you saw?
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a Vesica Pisces almost, where there's still a little overlap. Mm-hmm. They're not pulled apart all the way yet, but yes, so two worlds pulling apart.
Okay,
yeah.
So how did your family, your husband, how did that go down?
Well, I didn't tell him a thing about it. I mean, as far as knowing this information, or as far as switching the job.
Well, it's sort of both. I mean, because you go to school for this, you're sort of, you do the whole, this is what we're supposed to do. We go to college, you go down that road, and then you get married, and it's like, oh, guess what? That's not really who I am. I mean, that's a big shift, right?
That was a big shift. And he was tolerant at first. He tolerated it at first. It's just not his thing, it just isn't. And that's okay. That's part of my spiritual journey, was to accept that it wasn't his thing. Mm-hmm. And then, I was still earning quite a big paycheck being an accountant. And so when I got laid off, that was an acceptable form of transitioning to something else. If I would have said, I'm leaving,
right,
I
quit.
This high-paying job, that would have caused some really big tsunami type waves in our family. It just would have. Yeah. That would have been unacceptable. So I got the acceptable transition in order to do this. And he was he said, after a couple months, he said, I'm just glad one of us is doing what we love. And so it switched from tolerating it to actually supporting it. So it was really beautiful to see him actually supporting my work. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to have a session. He's like, no,
it's okay, honey. That's for you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, that kind of makes me sad. I mean, isn't there part of you that says, well, I want you to do what you love too, because this is really great on this side of the fence.
Yeah, actually, you know what? His support of me doing what I love actually created a bond within us, and created an energy where now he's transitioning to doing what he loves.
Fantastic. We love happy endings.
That gives me tingles.
Yeah.
That's really
we
good.
love
It's like instant karma.
So can you tell us, so your website is soulfocus-hypnosis.com, and I know you have a lot of videos on there, and one of them is what is Qhht, but maybe you can give us kind of a brief introduction to people who don't know what quantum healing hypnosis quantum healing hypnosis technique. Maybe you can give us a brief introduction of what that is and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think I just lost the video.
We did. We're going to reconnect you here.
Okay. But yeah, let's see. So quantum healing hypnosis, a lot of people know the beginning part, which is the past life regression. A lot of people are familiar with that. We walk you through a past life as basically a deepening gateway to access the higher self. So what a session actually looks like is a client prepares a list of questions they're seeking answers to that basically no one on earth can answer. So these are very deep questions about their personal life, about their health, about their purpose, about their career, where they should live, and then, throw in some curiosities in there. What does a political climate look like in the next year, or what does money look like in the next year? So basically, they have a well-formed list of all these questions about their life and what's going on in the world and what they want out of their future, basically. How do I lose the weight? How do I find the love? So this big list of questions. So they arrive at a session. I do an interview. The interview is usually a couple hours long. We talk about their life, what went on with it in the past, what's going on with it right now, what they're struggling with, and then what do they want out of the future? You know, what would be the perfect future with them? Because that's what we're going for. That's the money right there. Heal the past and get the future that they want. So that's the prescription right there. So we go through, once we head down to the hypnosis, we go through a couple past lives at the deepening gateway, and they bring their own therapy. They're very fascinating. I'm sure you both have had past life regression.
Yes. Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit about that. And then we head on to the higher self. So the higher self enters through their crown chakra, goes through their mind, this energy, and comes out their mouth. So they'll often be getting insights before it comes out of their mouth, this flow of energy, these answers. So I'm sitting there and I'm just asking their questions. And then if the answers seem vague, I try to get more and more and more information. So you really have to be an interviewer. You really have to be curious. You really have to want the answers yourself. So if I don't understand it, I really make sure that they're going to understand it. So if I don't understand it, I keep asking questions. So we get a very detailed recording of what they need to do in their lives. And that's their homework. They have to listen to it because it's not a one-off. You know, the information can fade. If they're a witness, if their egoic conscious mind is still present during the hypnosis, and most likely it is because they're not going completely unconscious, they're not going to sleep. You know, a portion of them is still there watching it all play out, just like a movie. So if a portion of them is still a witness, the information will still fade like a dream. So we want them to listen to it and really integrate it into their lives, integrate it into their egoic conscious mind. So it's fascinating. It changes lives completely.
I'm sure. Well, that connection with your higher self, actually, it's your higher self that you're bringing in. You're not bringing in some guru. It's you telling you. It's your soul speaking to you and giving voice to the thoughts, the feelings, those nudges, and kind of expanding on it. And then I'm sure people then have a stronger connection with being able to connect with their higher selves on their own after a session with you, I'm sure. Do most people
Absolutely.
find that?
So that's actually one of the things that I always add to the list, no matter what, is how can they connect to their higher self outside of a session like this? What is the best way for them to connect to their higher self and apply a level of discernment to the information they're getting so that they know it's not their egoic conscious mind. Mm-hmm. They know it's their higher self. So we get an exact way for them to connect. And it's always it's different for each person. So some people need to meditate, some people need to go hiking, surfing, some people need to sew, some people need to play guitar. It's different for everybody. And they're like, okay, here's what it's going to feel like when I come in and give you answers. And they're going to be the quickest answers, too. They're not going to be the ones you mull over and apply fear to or worry or anxiety to. No, it's going to be the one that's on the tip of your tongue, the one that blurts out of your mouth. That's me showing up. So that was really cool to know that.
Well, how did, so I've done this particular one, and it didn't go down like that. I mean, it it all felt very vague. I mean, some of the stuff that came through was just mind-blowing. I mean, at one point I said, I feel like I'm in a pod and there's this big blue guy over me, and I mean, I couldn't have made that up. I mean, I guess I could have, but it was so far out there, but I was constantly saying, is this right? This feels really weird, is this right? And so you sound incredible. I mean, it sounds like you're the way you approach this is amazing, and that you really do you really can get in there. So is everyone like you, and how do they, aren't there, like you have 1, 2, and 3, or explain that to us? I mean, how we would find you, and particularly someone like you. That was a lot.
Well, I think, there are absolutely different personalities within the quantum healing hypnosis world, and you're not always going to get the right practitioner. So it's really important to kind of do your homework, reach out, talk to the person, tell them, hey, I really want you to get very specific answers. But if you want to get a hold of me, if you resonate with me, because that's the main thing, you want to resonate with the actual practitioner. You want it to be a match. So you can always go to my website, www.spirituality, soulfocus-hypnosis.com, or it's Allison at soulfocus-hypnosis.com. And so you can get a hold of me through my website all the time. People reach out all over the world. We don't do Skype sessions, so you really have to be able to be willing to travel or be nearby in order to have a session with that particular practitioner. Because there's too many dangers with doing it via Skype. If the connection is lost, as you saw, we lost our connection already once at least. If that happens, this person could be in a very deep past life where trauma is happening. We don't want them to dwell there.
Right.
And we certainly, there are things within the quantum healing hypnosis where we leave that entity, leave that energy behind, and so it does not affect them. So we're saying this information to them, say, okay, leave everything behind. You won't be affected mentally or physically by this energy. If that isn't inserted, that person carries that trauma with them as if it's part of their life. So that's why it's very important to do the face-to-face session.
Yeah, it's really protected too.
There are practitioners all over the world that are trained to do this, and I know there are different levels, but you were saying even level ones have, a lot of times people are doing it for free to get their numbers up. And so there's a lot of even great level 1 practitioners that are fantastic.
Yeah, I was telling Carrie this. I think both of you might have still been on the phone when I was telling you. Yeah, there are level 1s all over the world who just don't have their level 2 yet, but they're doing hundreds of sessions. I'm one of them. I couldn't get back to Arkansas to take my level 2 because I have a family, I have a very busy business, but you only need 25 sessions to take the level 2, but I have hundreds of sessions. So it's just, you never really know what that level 1 is at or how many sessions that level 2 has had. But yeah, there's definitely different levels of practitioners. Just find the one that suits you. And their level 1s have to do a certain amount for free. They might still be doing free ones. So if you're strapped for cash, reach out to level 1s in your area and see if they're still offering sessions for free, or if they'll trade.
Yeah.
I do a lot of trades.
Oh,
I try to do at least one a month because I think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For those that can't afford it, because it's a long time. I mean, aren't you in there for 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're costly, because a lot of your time.
Yeah, because you can't just head straight into a session. The person has to feel comfortable with you. You have to know what's important to them and learn about their life and learn who the players are and what they've been struggling with most. And so we spend several hours in the interview, and time just flies by. Mm-hmm. It does. We blink and it's like, oh crap, spend 5 hours. I have to go pick up my kid from kindergarten.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's generally in my house. It's a 5-hour session, almost always.
And your website has a link to the QHHT site, where you can find a practitioner near you, or you can travel to someone like you said. So
yeah, absolutely. So I try to include that information. I include it under all my videos on YouTube too, also, so that people can look around for practitioners. There's 2 links. Because there's 2 different websites where practitioners are listed, and they have to pay basically to be on either one. I had to double up and paid to be on both of them. But you really want to check out both websites to see who's on each one.
Okay.
I highly recommend that.
And by the way, on the bottom, we are on Facebook Live, and we have your contact info at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
So just go to that.
Thank you.
No, that's Bobby.
Thank you.
Well, and on our website, joyrideshow.com, on our blog page, we'll put links to everything we're talking about, all the Dolores Cannon books and ways to contact you. But I want to get into some of the information that is coming through your sessions. And you said I'm kind of compiling when I hear it from multiple sources, and I can it's not just a one-off thing. I'm hearing this from multiple people who don't necessarily even come in to ask these questions, but along the course of the conversation, this information is coming out. And that's what really piqued our interest about light workers who are here and the new energies that are coming in, the new shifts in energy, and what we can do to prepare ourselves, how we can really utilize this amazing new energy to really help the planet as a whole.
And
Yeah.
before we go there, can I ask one more thing? So I know that you talk to the higher self, but do you ever actually talk to source? Does source come through?
You know, not that we would know. We call forth the higher self, and the information is so pure and so exact that they never say, I'm source energy rather than higher self. They don't care what we call them.
Okay.
It says they're gonna speak to us anyway. But I can't tell a level of discernment between the two. All I know is that the information is spot on.
Okay.
So it'd be hard to say, but I think it would be fun to like actually ask that.
Well, she had talked about, and it's a word. You reach a certain place. What is it? The word that she uses, the like, nambulistic or something like that.
Somnambulistic. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Somnambulistic.
What is
yeah.
that?
And that's a state. That's a state that they reach, I believe.
Yeah. So here's
Sorry.
what I think. So back in the day when Dolores was doing this so much before 2012, the information that the client had to go to a deeper state. They naturally went to a deeper state. Their egoic conscious mind checked out, and they were completely in a trance. And this is because their egoic conscious mind could not handle the information they were getting. They could not handle it. So they would have been fighting it the whole time. They would have said, no, you can't be an alien, a dog-headed alien on a purple planet. No, that is so against my belief system.
Yeah.
But what happened was, with the thinning of the veil in 2012, people started being able to handle this information. And so they don't just check out. They're there as a witness. So they don't often go to that deep of a state. It's unnecessary at this point. So there's something really empowering about being a witness to your own session, because you are a witness then to what it feels like when you're getting this connection to your higher self, and when you're getting the information. You have these aha moments before the information even comes out of your mouth. So some people come, and it's funny enough, it's the older generation, come and they say, well, I want to be completely unconscious. I'm like, I have no control over that. Your higher self is the one who has control over it. Mm-hmm. They're the ones who say, okay, she can handle it or she can't handle it. But really what they're saying is they don't want to fight the information. They don't want their egoic conscious mind to be there. They almost don't trust themselves. But I think the younger generation is actually more and more okay with that, and especially energy workers. Energy workers are working with this higher self energy all the time. It's like a trusted friend, a guide that they tap into all the time. So getting this stream of energy is very validating for them to know that, yes, I've been on track this whole time. This is who I access all the time, but it's never recorded. Yes, I want it recorded. So anyway, there's the sense, I kind of went off, but the somnambulistic state isn't one that I reach very often in my practice, because I don't think it's necessary, but it's all guided from the higher self. They either take you there or they don't.
Well, and
so, long story short.
And I think it's like minds, and I'm sure that folks that come to you are more like you, so they probably can access that anyway easier, I would think.
Yeah, it's definitely the clients have shifted a little more. They're more awake, I think, to the changes that are happening that Tiffany was mentioning. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, they're ready for these changes. They're not just talking about personal stuff and personal healing. They're like, yeah, I did that. Now it's coming.
Exactly. I left those bags back there. Now it's time to get on the train and go somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And this all ties into the new earth that we were speaking of, the new energy that's coming in, and how the light workers, people who are tuned in and interested in this, how we can really use these new waves of energy. So can you speak? I know you've done a whole video on your website about this new energy that's coming in. There's another wave coming in around the time of the total eclipse here coming up in August.
Yes.
August 21st?
Yes, that's exciting. So yeah, as Tiffany mentioned, I don't post about stuff that I just get from one source. I wait till several clients are speaking about this through their higher self. So I wait for all the information to come into. a concentrated bag, if you will, and I put that out. So yeah, we have the upcoming solar eclipse. That information started coming through in January, that this energy, a portal is going to be opened on August 21st and thereabouts, a couple days before, several days afterwards, where this new wave of energy is coming through. It's called the second wave of energy. The first wave, I don't know when it happened, because I was paying attention mostly to the fact that the third wave is coming as well. But so I didn't ask. A lot of people are like, when does the first wave happen? But the energy is the same with each wave. What it is this huge blast of unconditional love that's available to the earth. All you have to do, and this is what they recommend, is open yourself up to receiving it, holding it, and then shining it out to other people.
Amen.
And yes, amen. And you don't have to be in the path of totality to access this energy. Certain people know they need to be in the path of totality.
Which is the
so we're talking about the swath cutting across, being where you can see the total solar eclipse, so where it is completely dark.
And it's
Some
North
people
America.
know they want to be there.
You're going to be in it right up in Oregon. It comes across
You are in
North
it.
America.
Are you too far south?
Yeah, I'm going to be in it. I don't think it's hitting Texas.
It's not.
But you can travel up.
I'll put a picture on. I'll put the information on our website, joyrideshow.com, this afternoon about where it is. And some people are traveling to be in the total eclipse. But you were saying in your video, you don't have to be in the total eclipse to get the energy of it.
Exactly. There's billions of people who won't be in the solar eclipse. So I was really keen to try to get information about what they should do. And so I can't necessarily ask that. I don't want to lead, the higher self. I don't want to say, well, can many people tap in? I wanted to wait until it was brought up during a session without me kind of leading. And so it was brought up that this is what you can do. So for several people, several of the clients, they recommended cleansing yourself, cleansing your chakras leading up to the event, getting the junk out, stop feeding yourself with more entertainment, junk food, social media, news. Just kind of take a break, kind of unwind and unplug for a couple days and just clean out your vessel. That's what they call them. We want clean vessels to pour this energy into. And then they recommend during the time of the solar eclipse, when it's happening, wherever you are on Earth, intend to connect to it. Some people can actually stop, drop, and meditate and actually open up their heart chakra, have that spinning and expanding, and send it out to this energy. And that will siphon off the energy and have that come into your body. So that's what they recommend. But others who don't really meditate, all you need is focused intent. But that is what you want to do. You want to hold this energy in love. Since it's unconditional love, that's the energy you want to actually have that intent coming out of your heart. You want it to be from a love stance. So really focus on your own love and your love for the earth and your desire to have this energy come into you. And then you'll hold it. So that's what they want. They want clean vessels to pour this energy into. And then they said that, yes, people who hold this energy will walk differently upon the earth. They'll see things differently. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that experiment.
Well,
Yes.
So is there a mechanics to this? Like, is there a certain time when you tune in? I mean, how will we know that part? Like when to?
Well, yes. So I recommend that some brave souls actually in different areas of the world actually find out when during their local time that this is happening and set up meditation groups.
Yeah.
And call out to people. Put a call out to people in their area. Hey, this is happening. Tap in at this time. So please, some of you who are leaders, who are project managers, put these meditation groups together. It would be amazing. Put the call out, you light workers. That's why. So I was guided to do these videos. I was guided from my higher self to do these videos. They said, you have to get them out there because this information helps everybody. It helps the world. So once I send it out there, people, yes, they have to start doing their work. You know, I know so many project managers who are so good at organizing these events. I'm not one of them, but it's wonderful. I love having them in my life, and I know there's different ones in different areas. So please put these groups together, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on your own private website. You know, put these groups together and find out when it's happening in your local time. And there are several links that actually list the local times all over the world when this is happening. Yeah.
Okay, so but if you're not in a path, if you're not in the path, what do you look for as your time that you should try to open up or link in?
So I would, you know, it's going to be several minutes of it moving across the United States, this energy. So basically, in advance, they would want to check in and see what that equates to at their local time. So if someone's in Germany, okay, what time is it in Germany when this is hitting the U.S.? And then they tap in Germany and actually have this intent going. But they do the cleanse several days in advance, basically cleansing their bodies and having this intent.
So I just want to make
and
sure.
some people don't like meditation. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, so would I make, just to cover the whole thing, start on the West Coast and then wait till it gets to the East Coast and just kind of try to stay in that space? Or I guess that would be too long, wouldn't it?
Could.
Do you know what I'm asking?
I don't know what the full range of when it moves across the United States. I don't know if that's 10 minutes or 1 hour. But it's up to the individual. If they only want to tap in for 10 minutes, that should be fine because the energy will still be there. Their intent is still there, that they siphon off some of this energy and hold it. Yes. But I can, if it comes through, if more people talk about this, if, you know, more clients go there and their higher self is talking about this, I can try and ask if there's a duration that people should tap in, but that information hasn't really come through yet. It's more what they should do, but not how long they should do it.
Okay.
Yeah. This is so interesting, and I know it's like you said, people are coming in for their own questions, and when these come up, you're not leading them. You're just asking to kind of expand on what they're bringing up.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting, and you were saying there's a third wave, but you've not got enough sort of people bringing forth that information yet to kind of speak too much about it. But this is all taking us to that new earth, I understand.
Yeah, it's definitely preparing us for it. It's preparing the people who are staying behind, preparing for a change in the systems that are here on this earth. So this new energy is not something we should ignore, these waves of energy. They're something that we should actually hold in and tap into. Even if we know we're going, you know, some of us just know that we're going to this other earth, and don't just assume that you don't have to do anything to get there. No, you should still help. You should still hold this energy, pull it into this earth, and do all you can to help while you're here.
I love the visual of high. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. I love the visual of little grounding rods all over the planet of little people.
You're putting it in the grid.
And you said this wave of unconditional love coming in and kind of holding that and maybe tipping the scale a little bit on the vibration of the planet towards more love, more compassion, all those things we were speaking of. And you had also said in your video to really set the intent that this energy is just for the good of the entire planet, and to not let that intent go, to just kind of absorb it, hold it, ground it, and put that out there. I love that.
And the people that hold this energy, they'll actually speak differently. They'll actually interact differently with the people around them, and this spreads it out. And this is all messages from the higher self, especially the lightning rod. The higher self mentions that all the time. The tipping point. The higher self has mentioned that at least 3 times, that the tipping point is going to happen. They keep mentioning September as being a tipping point. So that's also going to be fun. It's getting more information about September. And something is happening between September and December. They call it a season of political change. So I'm waiting for a little more information about that one before I can post about it. But it it is on. Something big is going to be happening.
Well, I know that, I did Mark Conics, and it is, what it does is it's this new energy that came to Earth around 2012, and everyone started or there are a few folks that started seeing it, and it's supposed to prepare you to kind of go up the different dimensions, yeah. And so I think that and that's what I'm getting, is that all of this is saying higher, 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 higher. And they talk about grounding rods, and that you bring that energy in and you actually put it in the earth, that she needs it too. And we're holding it for everyone, and that there was a tipping point, and we've sort of crossed it. We're good. We're good to go. We have the green light. And so, and that's why I reached out to you too, is that I just keep getting it, and you just put it so perfectly. So I could hear it, and clearly many others,
and doing it without fear too. This is not fear based. This is
That's
done
right.
This is done in love, and keep yourself out of the fear vibration of all this change.
Can you talk to that? Because I think that's a really big point when we start to talk about change. Most of us don't like change.
Yes, and that actually, if you're keeping your vibration high, you can't go into fear. So if you're in fear, you already know you're doing it wrong. You're like, okay, I need to change something. So yeah, everybody tends to go into fear when change is coming. But this change has been coming for years. It's been leading up to this. There's nothing we can do to stop this from happening. And it's all for the good. It needs to happen for the earth. It needs to happen for humanity. We're accessing higher levels of love. We're being called to change. We are being called to evolve while we're still alive. And that is something so beautiful. And it's been happening. It's been happening to all of us. All of us have been changing all the time. So it's just more of that same trajectory. But yes, people think about, will I shift to this new earth, and will these systems that I depend upon crumble, and what does that look like? Well, yes, a lot of these systems will crumble, but are they really working now?
They've been there.
They've been there. They've been
crumbling.
failing for years. Banks, healthcare, education, government has been failing for years.
Yeah.
So there will be a time of transition for each of these things. And we should actually hold our vibration high when they are transitioning.
It's like when you got fired.
Yeah,
it's like when you got fired. The door opened, the opportunity, and it was that perfect place to transition.
And
to
will
the
actually
next
pay
thing.
you to do it.
Yes,
exactly.
That's right. Yeah, they laid me off, so they gave me all this severance money, and they opened the door for me to do what I love, and it was so awesome. I wanted to actually do cartwheels out of there.
So let's hold that
Okay,
intent.
I want to hold that. Exactly.
Hold that intent.
Yes.
That's change.
That these systems are getting laid off, and we get severance, and something even better will be developed from it.
It's when you're so ready for them to happen. You're so ready for these changes to take place. You're every part of your being knows that it can't keep continuing on its own. It's very akin to, I always tell people this, it's cliche, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Why does the caterpillar change into the butterfly? It's not because the butterfly is so beautiful and the caterpillar says, I want all these colors and I want to fly and I want to look better. No, it changes because it becomes so unbearable to remain a caterpillar. They can't even move anymore. They can't function anymore. They have no choice but to build this cocoon around them, dissolve, and become something new. And that's where we're going right now. We can't continue. Nothing can continue the way it's been going. It's not sustainable. So we're being called to change into butterflies. Yeah, it's scary. The caterpillar is like, I don't want to do this.
I won't exist.
You don't have a choice. Yeah.
I don't want to. But look what comes out of it. Something so beautiful that needed to happen, an evolution.
Well, but
so there's something beautiful happening.
That's amazing. I love that analogy.
I do, and I go back and forth because it is because I did have that vision of the new Earth years ago, and I kept trying to kind of disqualify it and think, that was just a really cool dream, I guess. But so you've awoken that in me, and But it is. So what does it look like to you from what you get? What does it look like? Or can you even really, I don't know, can we even really know that from where we sit on this side of that event?
Yeah, a lot of us have had glimpses into the new earth. So you received a glimpse through your dream. I received a glimpse through just knowing and going into my meditations. But then I also am, a lot of quantum healing hypnosis practitioners have received a glimpse just from guiding people through sessions, and the higher self will shoot them to the new earth, and they'll explain it. So it's beautiful. That's one thing I can say. It's like a Garden of Eden, full of plants. You can actually, people that are there can actually connect to the plants. They can connect to the earth around them. It's beyond telepathy. It is an actual knowing that you are nature and that your energy is part of them, and you can call forth the fruits from the plants. You can actually bring them forth. So as simple as that, you're talking, you're communicating with this world around you. You're not separate from it. You're very much a part of it. You still have bodies, but they're lighter, they're cleaner, they're actually whole rather than hurt. If you go over there and you have scoliosis, you don't have scoliosis anymore. Kids come first, and it's because they're there half of the time anyway. They have one foot in each earth. These little kids. So they're not actually leaving physically. They're just there. They hold it in their hearts before the rest of us do, and it's just so beautiful. So our psychic gifts are all available to us. So we're talking like teleportation, telekinesis, telepathy, all of this stuff is available. So we'll actually know each other's thoughts. If we want, we can project our thoughts, our feelings onto each other, and we create communities. So it's actually beautiful.
Carrie's tearing.
That's
here.
the image that comes through.
I think about these little babies that I love that will leave these bodies that are doing what they're doing behind. That makes me happy.
I get such a sense of relief when I think of this, and that feeling of relief helps me stay out of fear. It's like, oh, it's all part of the plan. It's all part of our evolution. There's no problem.
Yeah, and those babies are going to bring their bodies with them. They'll just be lighter.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll just vibrate at a higher level. So you'll still be able to see them as your babies.
Oh no, we have Tiffany's son has some interesting things going on with him and
physical genetic issues.
Yeah, and so it's just
he won't be bringing that with him, like you were saying.
Yes.
The scoliosis.
Clear that stuff out.
And just as a side note, he spent the night, or they almost spent the night last week, and he was telling me, I was telling him about shedding the Carrie body, and there's this big blue being, and anyway, it's this really cool thing that I experienced, and he was like, and how old is he? 10, 11? He said, it's like a car. I get in my car, but I'm not my car, and you're not your van, you're you. And it was funny because it's like I hear our kids say exactly what we say, and they just parrot it back, but they believe it.
Well, they know it. They already know it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're teaching us.
Yes, absolutely. And that was big on the other side when they talk about the new earth. It's like the children are the teachers.
So Dolores Cannon has written big, fat, thick books about all of this.
The convoluted universe.
The waves of volunteers that are coming through to serve it, to help facilitate this change. So it's all part of the plan. So wherever you are in this journey, just relax. It's all going to be good.
Yeah, you knew. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say that it is. I have to say, though, that when I first read her stuff, I remember, and I first watched her on YouTube, I would listen to her talk about this. I got to tell you, it freaked me out. I mean, I was like, ew, no, it scared me. And she is a little bit crotchety. I mean, she's like too old to really give a shit how she says it. And so she just puts it out there, but there are no frills to it. And, new age, she's not new age. She's just, this is what I get. And so, but now it's funny how now I see it and I'm okay with it, and I'm actually relieved by it, and what they showed me wasn't necessarily the new earth. They showed me how we're going to get there, and at least I think, and anyway, and it wasn't scary and traumatic. It just was, and I brought my family with me, and we're not separated. Everybody came. So
That's right.
yeah,
It happens like that.
it
just is.
doing a flip off the
And
diving
it's
board.
nothing to fear, but we do have work to do over here in the meantime. And the people that are staying, they knew before coming into this life that they were extremely powerful. They have gifts to give. They have a purpose, and they were willing to help people, guide people to this new earth. And so if there's a wave of people going, there's also a wave of people staying to help keep the vibrations high. And that's why I say we still have work to do.
Yeah.
You know, we have a responsibility.
But it
while
sounds
we're
like
here.
it sounds like an internal work. Your internal work is to clean up your trauma, clean up your story, clean up the anger, the frustration, the resentment, whatever it is that you're carrying around from your story. Clean that up so that you can be this vessel to hold this love in a higher capacity. And you enjoy the ride of it. I can't even imagine.
But
right?
Yeah.
But I don't.
100%. You nailed it.
I just don't want people to think that that good people go and bad people, I think a lot of people have left, and my husband, sweet man, he's like, why are you making a list starting 2016? Why are you keeping a death list? I said, because it just seems like so many people are leaving. He's like, no, Carrie, people leave all the time. But it just seems like a lot of folks, if you're on the fence, you're falling off one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
absolutely.
really true. Or it's
It
like
does seem like that.
the pink
I
car.
haven't. Yeah.
Like once you get a pink car, every car's pink. So once you tune into it, it you see it. But I don't know. Can you speak to that part, to the folks staying or leaving?
I couldn't from having received the information from a quantum healing hypnosis session viewpoint. I can't speak to it from there because that information hasn't come through. But I hear you. It seems like a ton of people are leaving, and people who are awake, people who are tapped in, people who are beautiful musicians, they're leaving. And I just have to say, I hope they're there because there are gonna be some beautiful concerts over there, some awesome shows, and some amazing people over there. So I really hope that they're there preparing the way for us. I know that some of the, so the reason I say that I hope they're there is because when the higher self comes through, it says stuff about what this will look like to other people. So when I leave, what will it look like to my mom or my dad or my boss? What will it look like? So for some people, it'll look like you've died. For others, it will look like you actually did transition. For some people, they won't even know that they've transitioned because they're kind of living
Seamless,
in this sparkly world anyway. So for kids especially, some won't even be able to tell the difference. They're like, oh yeah, this is fun too. They're just going. So it will look different for everybody. So some of these people that we see as having died might just be there.
Like Prince,
we don't know.
or yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping Prince.
Oh, he'll
Yeah,
be
we
there.
need the Prince and Bowie concert.
It just occurred
Yes.
to me that I have been saying since I was about 20 years old. I talked to this man one night, and we were discussing, I guess, what I believed. And at 20, you think you know everything, and maybe you do, but it's and I told him, I said, it's sort of like, I feel like it's everybody, like you'll come back, and then they'll say, okay, that's it. And you look around, and maybe that's this time. Maybe we're done coming back, and it's like, okay, time, and you are where you are, and so you transition or you don't. I don't know if that's clear, but it is like why would we transition as this? Why this particular? Because I've been so many different things. I've been so many different people during the whole, being on the wheel. So. I don't know if that makes sense. It's sort of like playing a game of, I can't say the word, right here.
Russian roulette.
Musical chairs.
Oh, sorry. Musical
Close.
chairs.
Same thing. It's like, okay, go sit where you are. So I don't know. It does feel sort of like end times, but not in an end times bad way, not in a Hollywood bad way.
Yeah, I think it's end times for karma. I think that's what it is.
Well said.
I think people are reaching the end of their karmic wheel. They're deciding to get off of the wheel.
Yeah.
This is the time. This is the life. This time right now is where people are realizing they can actually free themselves from karma while they're still alive. Through religions all across the world, people were told that they couldn't do that, that they would never be able to do that they have to die before they can actually clear karma or anything like that. No, you can actually clear karma while you're still alive and move on, and you prepare yourself. So that's what I think is ending, is that wheel, like you said, just getting off. It's time to get off the ride.
It's like we didn't even know we could. Yeah, no one ever
we
told us we
didn't know we could.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and now we know better. We're like, okay, yeah, so I'm done.
Right. Let me off this crazy train.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So there's a lot of benefit to having your own QHHT session to answer your questions, to establish or strengthen that connection that you have with your higher self, to kind of, I want to say fast track, but kind of really point to the priorities in your life and get, like you say, get a custom prescription for you. And I love it that it's not somebody telling you this. It's you telling you this. That's what makes it feel so authentic to me. It's you telling you, speaking to your heart, your higher self.
Absolutely. There's no filter. So anytime you go to a medium, there are amazing mediums, psychics, channelers, amazing people doing great work. But depending on their level of their vibration, they will have a filter in place.
Right.
And so the information will be filtered through their vibration. And what you want is to have filterless connection and filterless information that's specific to you. So yes, it is unique because there's no one in the way. There's no leader, there's no guru, there's no channeler. No, that edge. So channeling is great. But the real thing I'm trying to say is there are no leaders and no gurus anymore. It's time to shift out of that. It's time for people to realize who they truly are, connect to that, and actually heal themselves like you were talking about. And one of the best ways to do that is through a session like this. There are other great ways to start healing yourself, and a lot of people are on that journey anyway, just healing up their old stuff, getting it out. But sometimes they're unable to get everything out, and they don't realize what's blocking them. So they come in for a session, and their higher self like shines a spotlight on everything. They're like, yep, you got this. Let's get it all out.
Let's move it.
Move it, get it out, release it, and here's what you need to do to keep it released, and here's how your life is going to change now that it's released. Your hair's start going to grow back. You're going to lose that 30 pounds you've been struggling with. The love of your life is going to come in, and all these fun things to look forward to. So yes, these sessions are pretty powerful.
Have you had clients have all those experiences?
Absolutely, every single one of them. Yes, every single one of them, and it's brilliant to see.
And it's not a drug. It's not a weight loss course. It's you and you.
You with you.
It's your relationship with you. Yeah.
Okay, so
your prescription.
We need to go around August, and we should come out and see you.
We want to do it. So you were talking about the path of, back to the solar eclipse, because you were talking about the path of totality, and that is the little swath of area that will completely see the sun in a full eclipse.
Yeah.
But you're saying, so you were talking about traveling up to be in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Full path.
We could
Okay,
work with her.
We're planning an August trip now to come see you, get our sessions.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then
we can all
have to do a live show.
Loop. We could create
awesome.
like a group and just of like minds. Could you imagine? I mean, just the power with multiple people and how strong, how that really does amplify. And so
that's exactly right.
Synergy.
It's delicious to think about that people, if we can get the word out, if people can do this, if there are people all over the world doing this and people next to us doing this, it is insane what this can bring to the earth. Insane what it can bring. Yes.
Okay, so we wanted to do a shout out. Peggy Sue
got some folks
Foster
on Facebook saying hello
from Qhht. Is it Qhht, Oklahoma? Is that
Oklahoma.
right?
Oh,
and Leslie Ann.
And we've got Carrie, Silver Lining Mina here in
Carrie,
Houston.
where are you?
Hi, Tribers. We love you too.
Hi, Carrie.
Tammy from Tennessee.
Hi, Miss Sarah.
Leslie. Hi, everybody. Thank you for connecting with us on Facebook Live. We have got Allison here on Skype in front of us. So when we post it on YouTube, you'll be able to see Allison.
You'll see what we are
But on
seeing.
Facebook Live, we're just staring at this screen. And she's just gorgeous and all glowy
She is
and
glowy.
beautiful.
She's
and,
very glowy.
And it's been such a pleasure to connect with you. And we just saw your video for, like you said, 10 minutes, and we're like, she's one of us. She's a joy triber.
I know, and it was funny because really someone sent me the video. They basically, her friend got in touch with me saying, hey, I have this friend that has seen the new Earth. Would you talk to her? I said, absolutely. So she and I emailed back and forth, and then she said, oh, never mind. I don't need to talk to you. I got my confirmation with your video, and I watched it. I was like, holy cow. So then I sent it out. I never hit send with Tiffany. So then 2 days after that, she sends it to me, and it's like, it was so cool that I didn't send it to her, that you found it on your own, so that we would see that synchronicity.
And I love that we have a tribe here, and Sarah and Lucy, thank you for tuning in. We love that we have a tribe, because these are our people who get it, and they understand the energy, and they understand how important it is to do their work and to clean and to hold this space, and it's for the good of all. It's a joyride. It's fun.
It is, and you're not alone. I mean, that's
Yes.
there are so many of us out there that are just wonderful, lovely, incredible people, and it's wonderful because sometimes you kind of hit those bumps, or it's really our own selves that hit the bumps, right? And to call Tiff and say, I don't know what I'm feeling this morning. You were like, I kind of have this energy thing going. I don't know what this is.
An edgy energy this morning when I woke up. It was a little bit jittery. It was weird. So I just had to ground, but she said she felt it too. So
it's neat to be able to reach out and have people say, oh no, this is normal, or I've found that before. And I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I've posted that my cabinet eye that I talk about every show. And I wanted someone to say, hey, you know what? I know exactly what that is, but sometimes we're supposed to figure it out ourselves. But it is but it's nice to be able to connect and have people that experience their version of what we experience, because you're really not alone. And you're not crazy.
You're not.
And thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for following your heart and getting into this, and then following your heart to put out the videos and share this information.
More videos. Put them on YouTube, because I think right now you have 3, and her channel on YouTube is Allison Coe, and so and they're wonderful, and I look forward to more. We all should subscribe on. Oh, everybody. Would people subscribe to our YouTube channel? I hate to ask that, but it is. I really don't, because every day we go on. Actually, my son goes on. He's like, Mom, you're up to 28 people.
Well, it's relatively new. We just started YouTubing we used to be just audio shows, and then it's Facebook. So now we're on YouTube. So yes, that's a great way for everybody all around the world to connect and see and share this information. So.
Yeah, so it's really fun.
I'm gonna subscribe. I'm gonna subscribe to you guys.
Thank you.
For sure.
I already subscribed to yours.
I already did too.
Because I want to see, as soon as the information comes out, I want it to be the first on my feed, because it's great.
And I look forward to
Thank you.
third wave. Oops, third wave.
Yes, I'm excited for that to come through. I tend to just put the intent out there, and then it starts coming through and coming through. So I'm putting that intent out there. I want more information about the third wave, more information about the new Earth and what that looks like and what transitions look like, and more information about this season of political change.
Yeah, so if you're in Portland, go get your QHHT or travel up there so that we can get the juicy goods.
Yeah, exactly. We need more.
Yeah, we need clients.
We need clients. I have a feeling that's not an issue with you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
It has been such a pleasure to meet you and connect with you. Thank you for spending the time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Facebook
guys.
Live and for tuning in. Let's see, we have Claire joined in.
Hi, Claire.
And
your dog has not barked one time.
I know, they're sleeping over here and farting. Sleeping and farting.
Sounds like
our house. I was going to say, it sounds like our house.
Well, we will catch you later. We'll touch back in with you, and as you get the information, we want you back on the show. We would love that. We'd be honored.
Thank you so much. I love this stuff. I'm always willing to talk about it, and thank you for giving me a forum to share the information, and thank you guys for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. See you later.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
For me and you, and I think to myself,